I'm Shmelky Diamond, and this is Sorry, Not Sorry. Hey guys, welcome to another quick episode of Sorry, Not Sorry. I know that it's been a while since I did an episode, and I promised we would do video, and I'm still working on it, but renovations happened, this thing called renovations that can either be really amazing, and I believe that the product is amazing, Emet Hashem, but the process is not. So nothing really to show here. Anyway, I have been kind of offline because I have just finished my treatments, my brain TMS stuff, and Baruch Hashem, that has gone very well. Always some bumps in the road, nothing is ever linear, but you kind of learn to live with it. And I think that you go from this like very black or white idea of, I'm either going to be good or bad, or in the clear or out of the clear, right? To, okay, no, there's going to be harder days and easier days, right? And life kind of goes on. You get back into the swing of something. You get back into some routine. One thing that I want to talk about here is I'm kind of going back and forth on this. So I thought that it would be a really interesting idea, and I've always joked about it. I've joked about it for a long time. But our good friend Shlomi Zayens actually beat me to it, interviewing the folks from Neturei Karta. So, look, I think anybody who knows me knows what Satmar is, knows what our views on Zionis, or as we say in English, Zionism, are. And we will get into that in another episode. But we're not Neturei Karta. And I think that, a lot of people have said to me, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Don't give them a platform. Well, I reached out to Rabbi Weiss, who is, for lack of a better word, kind of the de facto leader of the Neturei Karta in America. I reached out to him earlier this week. And I have to say we had a pretty long conversation. Initially, he did not want to do the interview. But I want to say that I was thoroughly impressed with him as a person. I was thoroughly impressed with how nice he was. Kind of the opposite of what you'd expect. And, in talking to him, here's what I would do, and here's what I want to say, and I'm testing the waters on this, and I'm leaving this one out to you guys and kind of giving you maybe it's a warning or an update or whatever. I look to bring on people who are interesting, right? And, the name of the podcast is Sorry, Not Sorry. The name of the podcast is not, I'm sorry that my views don't align with yours, right? Or I'm sorry for being me. And say what you want about Neturei Karta, but they're not afraid to be themselves. I also think it's really important for people who are not Satmar to kind of have a platform where we can distinguish between what my party, my Hasidus, my religious group believes about Zionism in the State of Israel versus what Neturei Karta, which is sort of this, self-managed, self-governed, people say extreme group, what they do and how people confuse the two of us and what the effect of that is. And so if I do this, what I'll say is like this. I'm not looking to create a storm. I'm not looking to create controversy. I'm sure it will, right? Because it's not like the Smiles and Roses interviews that a lot of podcasts do. It's not the I beat this, horrible thing in my life and I overcame this adversity and da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? This is let's get uncomfortable because let's do that. But I think that there's a lot we could learn about it. I think that, even if we disagree with someone, it's really important in life to understand why you disagree with them. And I think that I'm not giving anybody a platform to be pro or anti-Gaza or whatever. And I would love to ask, what they believe, because they're obviously not pro-Hamas, because, Hamas believes in, the slaughter of the Jewish people, right? So they're not, but to be pro-Palestinian, whatever, and kind of, give them the opportunity to explain themselves, because I think that everybody deserves a chance to explain themselves. And as I said to Rabbi Weiss, my podcast is called Sorry, Not Sorry. So something that might be coming down the pipeline, I just want to give you guys a heads up. And I think that, in a way I'm kind of like, oh, Shlomi Zion's beat me to it. But he got the ones in Eretz Yisrael. The ones over here are different. Again, I'd leave it up to them to explain what that is. And I also think that he paved the way for me to do that. So, Shlomi, I'm sure you're not going to hear this, but thank you. Other things. Look, I want to make a little public service announcement here, which is, as the summer comes, right? And I know that a lot of people are going to be coming through Monroe, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. But please, be respectful of where I live. I mean, look, Alavai, I should be perfect, but you really do see a lot of people coming in here, especially on the way to the country, on the way from camp, whatever, and they sort of turn it into like Disney World or something. And I don't really understand that. I think it's pretty, I think there's a certain bad quality. I think a certain, and let me use the word narcissistic quality of people who, things like going into the Rebbe's Tzion when you're not dressed in a way that clearly says the sign is there, and you're taking your kids in, sweatpants and flip-flops and whatever, and it's like, is this a tourist attraction? So do we get, can I charge you for a tour here? And I'll give you like a little hat that says I came to Kiddush and all I got was this hat. I mean, just be respectful, be a good person, right? Be nice, and, do come, do patronize, do visit our groceries, and do use our Bata Midrashim, but be nice about it and be respectful. And if you're not, I'm probably going to make an episode about it. So anyway, quick update there. Again, getting better, Baruch Hashem, and we really do thank God for that every day. And some struggles, health-wise, but again, getting through it and renovating, hopefully to have a nice background for all of you. And wishing everybody a great Shabbos. As always, sorry, not sorry.